Andrew Mountbatten-Windsor, formerly known as the Duke of York, is once again under intense public scrutiny as pressure mounts for him to vacate the Royal Lodge, his longtime residence on the Windsor estate. Despite firm nudges from the palace and widespread criticism from the public, Andrew appears to be in no hurry to leave, fueling frustration among royal watchers and experts. The disgraced royal, who stepped down from public duties following controversies that severely tarnished his reputation, has been quietly living at the Royal Lodge for years. However, with renewed calls for accountability and transparency surrounding royal finances and property, the spotlight is now back on him, and many believe he is running out of time. Royal expert Jasmine Carey, writing for The Express, delivered a blunt warning: Andrew should not be testing public sentiment any longer. According to her assessment, he is skating on thin ice, and dragging out his departure could worsen an already strained situation. Carey stresses that Andrew's stay at the lavish residence is no longer just a private matter. With public trust in the royal family fluctuating and increased scrutiny of their expenditures, Andrew's actions carry greater weight. Prolonging his stay, she suggests, risks triggering yet another wave of public anger, something the monarchy can ill afford at a time when its image is undergoing significant changes under King Charles III. Although Andrew has consistently denied the accusations associated with his past scandals, Carey notes that he has reportedly agreed to leave the Royal Lodge. The problem, however, lies in timing. While Buckingham Palace initially indicated that Andrew would be moving within weeks, new revelations show he may legally remain in the mansion far longer than the public had been led to believe. Carey explains that, under the terms of his lease, he could potentially stay at Royal Lodge until October 2026 if he chose to assert his rights fully. This revelation has sparked frustration among critics who feel the former prince is exploiting loopholes and delaying necessary changes. Carey argues that while Andrew could legally dig in his heels and remain comfortably housed for years, doing so would be a grave miscalculation. Dragging his feet, she warns, would only deepen public resentment and further damage his already fragile reputation. While he could put his feet up and delay packing for months yet, she writes, this is something you really shouldn't do. Her message is clear. Andrew needs to take action now, not for the sake of critics, but for the sake of the monarchy's stability and his own dwindling dignity. Royal observers have noted that King Charles is attempting to streamline and modernize the royal family's operations, including its property portfolio. The goal is to project responsibility, transparency, and modesty, especially in times of economic pressure across the UK. Andrew's reluctance to move on has therefore become symbolic of the old ways that many believe should be left behind. Adding to the discussion, royal expert Jobson offers a similarly blunt assessment. Speaking to Hello magazine, he revealed that Andrew appears determined to stay put for as long as he can. According to Jobson, the former Duke is kicking his heels, resisting every attempt to persuade him to move out. His sources indicate that Andrew has made it crystal clear to both King Charles and palace officials that he intends to remain at Royal Lodge for the foreseeable future. Even after being served formal notice in October to surrender his lease, Andrew reported he won't budge until at least February next year. Jobson even suggests that Andrew may insist on staying for Christmas at the Royal Lodge, a move likely to generate even more public irritation, given that the rest of the king's close family will be gathering at Sandringham for the holidays. This ongoing tug-of-war has sparked intense conversation among royal commentators. Some argue that Andrew genuinely believes he has a right to the property due to the long lease he signed years ago. Others believe he is holding on out of pride, refusing to accept the full consequences of his fall from grace. Critics say that Andrew's resistance sends a wrong message at a time when the royal family is trying to rebuild credibility and demonstrate responsibility. Many also point out that the Royal Lodge, an expensive property, requires ongoing maintenance funded by the sovereign grant and taxpayers in varying degrees. This makes the optics of Andrew's refusal especially damaging. Meanwhile, supporters of the monarchy worry that the issue could become yet another distraction, overshadowing the efforts of other senior royals and complicating King Charles's modernization agenda. They stress that Andrew stepping aside gracefully would help the family distance itself from the controversies that have plagued recent years. Still, some royal insiders remark that Andrew feels cornered and fears losing the last vestige of his royal identity. While he no longer holds his Her Royal Highness status or public duties, the Royal Lodge remains one of the few remnants of his former life as a senior royal. Leaving it may feel, to him, like closing the door on that world forever. However, royal experts emphasize that clinging to the past will only make matters worse. The palace, they say, is unlikely to tolerate prolonged resistance without consequences. If Andrew continues pushing back, the public narrative may spiral further out of his control. For now, the situation remains unresolved, but the pressure is growing. With public patience running thin, royal commentators urging him to act responsibly, and the king committed to reshaping the monarchy, Andrew Mountbatten-Windsor is facing one of the most precarious moments of his post-royal life.